this week's podcast episode. Here are 5 beliefs that are blocking you from your abundance. Let's be honest, you're successful on paper. You have hit your goals, you've achieved them, but inside, you feel like you're playing tug of war with your own potential. You want to stay consistent, you want to receive more, but something keeps getting in the way. So, in this podcast episode, I'm breaking down the 5 limiting beliefs that are keeping you, the high achiever, who keeps getting stuck in these cycles of burnout, guilt, perfectionism, and self sabotage, and what you can do to shift out of them for good. And spoiler alert, it's not about working harder, it's about feeling safer. So let's dive in to the very first belief that is blocking you from bringing in that abundance. And that first belief is, if I slow down, everything will fall apart. So this is rooted in masculine energy. This is rooted in societal norms of go, 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 hustle, hustle, grind. I have to sustain this level that is not only it's not sustainable, but you're going to lead a one-way ticket to burnout. So, what do we do with this information? We have to ask ourselves, what is fueling this energy of hustle? What is fueling this energy of perfectionism that if I slow down, everything will fall apart? Well, usually we have memories where this is true. So think about a memory where you slowed down and everything fell apart. And maybe it was something that wasn't your control, but your brain has now decided that if you slow down, everything will fall apart. I used to struggle with this. I used to work 40, 50, 60-hour work weeks. I would work 2 jobs. I would literally leave one job and go to the next job. And I used to have this belief that if I slow down, everything will fall apart. Because if I would take a day off work, I would get sick, or I just wouldn't feel well. I wouldn't feel this, I wouldn't feel that. And so I just pushed. And what happens is beneath your ambition is fear. So what's happening is you're using fear to push your ambition. You're using fear to fuel your ambition. What happens if you truly slow down? Oh, if we slow down, I won't have motivation. I won't be productive. I won't be ambitious. Okay, so now we have all of these fears. I won't have this internal drive to go, go, go. Oh no, if I slow down and I slow down too much and I rest too much, something bad will happen. So we start to tell ourselves all of these stories that if I slow down, everything is going to fall apart. But what if we created a new story? What if we decided that slowing down actually allows us to get into alignment to attract everything we want, our dream life, our dream career, our dream relationship? What if slowing down is exactly what you need in order to hit that next level of success? But what happens is we believe that rest, we have to earn our rest. So then what happens is we completely burn ourselves out, and we usually don't take a sick day. We usually don't take a personal day. We usually don't take a mental health day until we have to. Have you ever experienced that where you are go, 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 and you're like, if I don't slow down, like, I don't even know what's going to happen. And then what happens? Oh, we get sick, or our body like literally will shut down because our bodies are not meant for this amount of hustle. Our bodies are not meant to go this much, especially when we are truly in our feminine energy. We are leaning into our cycles. Think about our cycles as they reflect with the moon and the seasons. We are supposed to experience periods of rest. But if we have a fear that if I slow down, everything will fall apart, and if that fear starts to take over, the brain will look for evidence on why that's true. So beneath your ambition is this fear that rest is not safe. that stillness is a trigger, is danger. So, what will happen is your nervous system will start to look for more opportunities to speed it up. Your nervous system will start to look for examples of why you should hustle, why you should grind, why you should go, go, go. So, what you can start to do is block off time on your calendar for rest. And I mean real rest, not like you're scrolling on social media rest or you're watching 1,000 shows at the same time. We've all done that, right? Or we're watching a TV show and we're also scrolling on social media and we're also texting our friends. We're also doing this, we're also doing that. No, I mean like actual rest where you're just sitting and you're allowing your mind and body to rest in the present moment. So that is the first belief that is blocking your success, blocking your ability to receive abundance with ease and flow. You can, of course, receive abundance with hustle grind. We see it all the time. But I know you, the high achieving individual, you are ready for a life that's not involved in hustle and grind. You are ready for a life that feels in alignment, not forced. So that goes to our second belief that we struggle with as we are achieving our dream life, striving for more abundance and more success, is wanting more, the belief that wanting more makes me ungrateful. And when we have this belief in our mind that wanting more makes me ungrateful, we will start to block opportunities where we can actually generate more money. We start to block opportunities where we can generate more flow. We start to block things from being really easy because we have this belief I have to suffer in order to achieve it. I have to work really hard or I have to suffer. And then when I get it, I have to be really grateful for it. And if we think about what it means to want more, what we're telling ourselves is that we know what we have is amazing today. We know it's great. A lot of people would want the lives we have. But wanting more does not mean you're ungrateful. Wanting more simply means you are fulfilling your heart's desire. That is it. What if you wanted more cars, more houses, more meals out? It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It simply means that you are fulfilling a heart's desire. And what happens is a lot of times we have this belief that wanting more means you're greedy, as if you're taking from someone else. But we have to remember abundance is not a pie. It's not like an apple, peach, or pecan pie where if I take a slice, I'm taking from someone else. Abundance is ever flowing. It's just like constantly replenishing itself. So I think about abundance. My family growing up, we lived on a well. We didn't live on city water, we lived on a well. And every winter, when it would rain and it would snow, it would replenish the well. We would shower, drink, water, all of this stuff, and it's constantly being replenished. So when we think about spending money, we are constantly replenishing like the ecosystem. So that way, the more we spend, the more we receive. It becomes a belief that wanting more means I'm circulating with the economy. It doesn't mean I'm ungrateful or I'm greedy or I'm like an Ebenezer Scrooge. We know all of those limiting beliefs. So wanting more does not make you ungrateful. So now we can ask ourselves, what is our true heart's desire? What would it look like if I allowed myself to live in surplus? And surplus means living a life above your basic needs, above food, shelter, clothing. So if we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Maslow talks about how we need our basic needs in order to feel like safe, secure adults. But in order to hit the top of the pyramid, which is called self actualization, it's basically when we have tapped into our highest self, our highest potential, when we are living in alignment with basically like our soul contract. That is when we get to live in surplus. That's no longer, we're not worried about can I pay my bills? Can I have enough food? Can I have enough shelter? Can I have enough clothing? We're like, wait a minute. What would it look like if I tapped into my highest potential? Ooh, and that doesn't always mean becoming an entrepreneur. That doesn't always mean becoming a speaker or a motivational speaker. Sometimes that simply means fulfilling your heart's desire because that's the life you want, not the life that society has told you to have. Which goes to number 3, the third belief that blocks us from receiving abundance. If I show up fully, I'll be judged and rejected. I want you to think about elementary school. Were you ever told you talk too much, you're too social, you're too chatty, you're not focused? And if you've ever been told that in school, you probably have a belief that if I show up fully, I'll be judged or rejected. And this belief hinders our ability to truly step into our heart's desire of what we want in this life because we're afraid of judgment and rejection. And there's a reason that judgment and rejection is scary. So if we go back to our ancestors with the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, if we were to get rejected from our tribe, we wouldn't survive. If we were judged or even exiled, right, that would be like the worst thing that could happen to us would be to be exiled from our tribe. We physically could not have survived. So our brain is wired for community and connection. And if we're afraid that our goals jeopardize our ability to be community and connection, our brain is going to reject our goals, saying it's not safe to fully show up as yourself. How do we combat that? We create safety around our goals. We create safety around what we actually want in life. Oh, how do we create safety? Well, something that I talk about every single week, EFT tapping. EFT tapping is an easy way to regulate your nervous system. And when your nervous system is regulated, when you're thinking about your goals and your dreams, you're sending a signal that it is really safe for me to move forward versus the fear of rejection or getting judged. We all get judged and we've all been rejected before, but the difference is we get to decide what it means about us as a person versus when we were our ancestors, right? If they were exiled from a tribe, there was no physical way that they could hunt, gather, berry pick, make a home, get everything ready, and then survive winter on their own. So again, our brain is wired for connection and community, and when we don't have connection community, we're afraid that if we show up as ourselves, we're going to get rejected. All right, let's go to number 4, the fourth belief that is blocking your ability to receive abundance. So I have to do it all myself or it won't get done right. So this is a belief that is rooted in hyper independence. It's a trauma response. So the trauma response is it's all on me. I have to do it. I can't trust anyone else to do it. This is probably rooted in your childhood when you would get in trouble if you asked your sister or your brother to help you with a task. It didn't get done properly and you would get in trouble. So then you had to believe, oh, it's not safe to ask for help. Or if you asked your caregivers, hey, can I help with this? And they rejected you. We have this belief, I have to do it all myself or it won't get done correctly. And when we have that belief, we believe it's us against the world. We don't believe that there's true community or true connection in the way that, oh, I can collaborate and not have it be competition. Ooh, and that one is very difficult for women to get on board with because think about our social circles in junior high, high school. A lot of times with other women, it wasn't collaboration, it was competition. So if you learned that women are not safe to collaborate with, or even men, you believe that it's all competition. Well, if you believe that the world is all competition, if you see other people's success and you're not saying, oh, if they can do it, I can do it, and you're saying, oh my gosh, they've done it, therefore I can't do it, what you are doing is you are reaffirming these beliefs that I have to do it on myself or it won't get done correctly. So this is where I need you to be honest with yourself. Where could you ask for help? And sometimes asking for help doesn't mean you're going to call a therapist. It can, doesn't mean you're going to work with a coach, but it can also be, where can I ask for support outside of myself? Where can I put on a YouTube video where I'm getting guidance? Where can I listen to a podcast episode where I'm not feeling alone in this journey? When we believe it's all on us, that's when we get isolated, and that is when the limiting beliefs will start to spread like a parasite. When those limiting beliefs start to spread throughout your whole body, it can be very difficult to challenge them because you have nothing telling you don't think like that. That's limiting. Think in abundance, think opportunities, think big picture. So, number 5, our fifth belief that is sneakily hiding and blocking your ability for more abundance is consistency isn't for me. I always mess it up eventually. It's not safe to get my hopes up. Every time I'm consistent, something bad happens. The shoe always drops. It doesn't work out for me. It works out for everyone else. And what happens is we believe that if we are constantly working towards our goals, something bad is going to happen. So why stay consistent? So if we have the belief that consistency doesn't give us our results, well, then our brain is like, well, don't stay consistent. Why would we do that? Why would we waste our time? Let's just sabotage before anyone else can tell us no. Why don't we sabotage before any other option takes force? So what we can do with consistency is start to identify where is like your self-sabotage window. For a lot of my clients, their self-sabotage window is about 72 hours. So after 72 hours of a healthy habit, they will self-sabotage. Self-sabotage looks like avoidance, procrastination, scrolling on social media, distraction, laundry, dishes, household chores, you name it, everything but your healthy habits. So what would it look like if you decided to be consistent for 7 days straight? Well, if I can do it for 7 days, maybe I can do it for 14 days. And if I can do it for 14 days, maybe I can do it for 21 days. And then before you know it, it's in a pattern, it's a habit. But what we get to do is we get to identify what are our self-sabotage habits as they show up with lack of consistency. Does it say, oh, I'm not feeling really good. Oh, I'm really tired. I'll do that later. I'll push that aside. So here are the 5 limiting beliefs that are blocking you from success. The first one is, if I slow down, everything will fall apart. Wanting more makes me ungrateful. If I show up fully, I'll be judged or rejected. I have to do it all myself or it won't get done. And consistency isn't for me. I always mess it up eventually. If any of those 5 limiting beliefs felt true, felt like, ooh, I struggle with that, the best thing you can do is identify, when did those beliefs show up in your life? Was it in kindergarten? Was it in junior high? Was it in high school? Was it in college? Was it in your first career? Was it in your corporate job? Identify where these beliefs came from. And then what you can ask yourself is this an inherited belief? And so an inherited belief is beliefs that were passed down from my parents, my grandparents, my environment. So you can kind of be like a little investigator. Oh, or did I witness these beliefs? Maybe it wasn't even inherited. Maybe I witnessed. Maybe I witnessed my classmates, my friends, my colleagues. Okay. Then you can ask yourself, what would life look like if I didn't have these limiting beliefs? If I didn't have these limiting beliefs, I probably would think really highly of myself, which means I would have more confidence, which means things would come together easier, safer, without all the hustle and grind. Ooh, and that is where we get scared, because we believe things that we have to receive have to be really hard, we have to suffer, it has to be stressful, it has to be a trigger. But what if it was just really easy? Could you train yourself to trust that ease and flow is safe to accept? So those are the 5 beliefs that tend to block your success, hinder your success. Again, identify whose beliefs are these. Are these mine? Did I witness it? Did I absorb it? Did I inherit it? Okay, when did these beliefs really start to be prominent in my life? Identify that. And then the beauty of it is pick your favorite modality to release limiting beliefs. You guys know mine, EFT tapping, but there's hypnosis, breath work, journaling, you name it. Find your modality for releasing it. And then ask yourself, what would I rather believe? I would rather believe the more I slow down, the more I receive. I would rather believe wanting more means I'm fulfilling my heart's desire. I would rather believe that if I show up fully, I'm going to find my tribe. I would rather believe that I can ask for help and support. I would rather believe that consistency is my superpower. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's podcast episode. I cannot wait to see you guys next week and let me know what beliefs ring true for you and how you plan to release them. Bye, everyone.